Hi, I'm Sarah, and I'm the Director of Student Development at Trails Momentum.
And I'm Dan. I'm a primary therapist at Trails Momentum.
And today we're here to talk to you about video game addiction. This is the first of our series, and we're going to focus today on the game Fortnite. If you have a gamer in your life, it's likely that they're playing Fortnite right now, because 40 million users every month get on to play this cross-platform game. So let's start about what we need to know. Well, first of all, Fortnite is a cross-platform game. What that means, Dan, is that somebody can get on and they can download Fortnite on their phone, they can play it on their game console, like their Xbox, or they could even have it on their PC. So this means that they can really play it anywhere they go.
So if somebody's really a serious gamer, they can actually play it on their phone.
They can.
Anywhere they are.
So the Battle Royale version, which is the more popular version of the game, is a player versus player, highly competitive game that they can take with them everywhere they go in their lives. Yeah. The other thing that's super important to know is that it's free. So players can play for free, and they only have to pay for what we call cosmetics, which is like upgrading their appearance or having access to special skills or like a cool dance move. Another thing to know is that players will want to keep playing this game because games last about 20 minutes, but you can hop from game to game. And once you're in a battle, time away from the keyboard, or AFK, is punished. So you can be eliminated very quickly if you step up to use the restroom, say, or answer a question even. And so that AFK time is really undesirable among players. And the last thing to know is that this game is focused on novelty. So every week the game developers insert new items into the game, and that brings players coming back because they want to see what new features are there. So it's really interesting and fun all the time for every player.
Wow.
So that's kind of the background for Fortnite. Let's now talk about some of the things we would want to talk about with our gamer to better understand how they're using the game.
Yeah, and so the purpose of these questions are really to give you a platform to sit down and to have a conversation, so that it doesn't feel like you're speaking a different language than they are. So I think what's important to know right off the bat is that through the whole population of those that use games or do gaming, there's only about really 5 to 6% of those who would be categorized as really addicted. Now, what that means is this. So the World Health Organization recently came up with a clear diagnosis, categorized diagnosis for gaming. And so they have a criteria, like you would for any diagnosis, to figure out just the degree of gaming and how far it's gone in someone's life. And the very last one has to do with when someone has really negative consequences from playing the game, they continue to play it anyway.
Right.
So it's something to think about as you're having a conversation with the person you're in a relationship with that games.
So the first question that I think of is like, how is the gamer using the game, and what upgrades have they done? What might that tell us, or why is that an important question to ask?
So So as in regards to upgrades, if somebody upgrades in their gaming, that means that most oftentimes there's money involved. There's a charge. Right. And so that in and of itself, when someone is really, really hooked into it, becomes costly. So there begins to be financial suffrage for it. And how the player is gaming is really important as well, because it speaks about what format they're on and how much time they spend in that format. For example, if somebody spends most of their time at the computer, more than likely you're going to find them in a room or an office with doors closed for long lengths of time, completely absent from relationships, absent from their family, absent from work, all of those kind of things. So how they play it and where they play it becomes really important to be able to sit down and have a conversation about how others are impacted about when they spend so much time doing it.
Right, and so then when I think about playing for long periods of time, I think about that whole away from keyboard aspect. How, should we talk to the gamer about how they mitigate that or how they minimize that time?
Absolutely, because that's the key piece, is that if they're having to stay because of AFK and their concerns are the punishment or the negative repercussions they're going to have, eventually they'll do whatever it takes. And oftentimes what that means is that other relationships suffer, they certainly suffer, their work or their college work suffers, and they begin to become so isolated that everything else falls away.
Right, I think about nutrition and even hygiene, certainly sleep. Those are all factors when we look at like being compelled to continue to play, right? And then the last thing I wonder about is, how does this player engage with the game in other ways? Or like, are they utilizing their non-gaming time to still be immersed in that world by watching others? What might that tell us?
Yeah, so what's being found is that folks who begin to get really immersed in the gaming world, when they're not on a keyboard, oftentimes they are watching others do it. And so there's several ways that you can do that and go online and look, and you can actually watch games happening in real time. And so they begin to saturate their life in another way. By spending the time on another screen to watch to become better at what they do.
Right. So these are critical questions that we hope you're talking with your gamer about so that you can have a better understanding of how your gamer is using Fortnite, and then hopefully help them find a balance in their own lives as they continue to game and also be a productive member of their community. Thanks for joining us today. We hope you enjoyed our talk, and we look forward to seeing you in our next technology addiction session on League of Legends. Thanks so much.